hiking to these two pozos, I think is the name. But it's so beautiful here. So this is like one of the things that I look for when traveling, is somewhere that I can literally like walk outside my hostel door or hotel door and go walk like maybe a couple miles and be in nature, which I am not even that far outside of the town. It's not even a city. I've been walking for like 10 minutes and I'm already there. Yeah, so this is a beautiful place. It is hot, lots of sun, so I have like my sunblock, hat, sunglasses, protection on, because oh, it's so pretty here. So there's this, like a bridge, and the lady told me over the bridge I make like a left, and it's like right there. So we'll see, but yeah, this is Charalá. I don't know why I can't say it. So this part of Santander, like Socorro and here, had like a big part in the independence of Colombia. So everywhere there's like history about like the independence. So it's really interesting. I think I go left here. But it kind of reminds me of where I was living for a year in San Carlos. It's very similar, like the town is similar, as well as the river. Oh, and here's the Gritos de Libertad. So this is like a statue. It's called Gritos de Libertad, the cries of freedom. So yeah, this like whole area of Colombia had a lot to do with the liberation from Spain. So it's really interesting. These little towns have statues about freedom and liberty. Yeah, it's really cool. So this town has a historical center too, and we'll go to later.
In Colombia, but
yeah,
weather-wise, the amount of water and rain, I think where we live is magical, and the waterfall in front of us,
yeah,
even this mystical space.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I know, I love Colombia. For the same reason, it's just perfect. Every time I go somewhere else, I'm like, oh, this place is perfect too.
When I visited in my home. Oh yeah, look at. I'm waiting to look at. And we can go together. Oh yeah. Every weekend, if the weather is good. Summer, winter. afterwards, sometimes.
If we're gonna do the home base, really there's no waterfall and nothing else. ¿Ciudades?
¿Esa lata acá?
Sí, sí.
So today I went to Pozo Lejos, I think is the name, but instead of going there, we went further up the mountain. I actually ran into a group of people and they invited me to join their hike. Basically, they live in the area and I'm probably gonna go check out their farm. They have a finca and they do like permaculture and they do all this like cool stuff and have volunteers. Basically, I was walking and I was getting lost. I wasn't lost, but I had no idea. So I wasn't lost, but I had kind of no idea where I was going because Google Maps was cutting me the wrong way and there's like all these roads here, and they asked me if I needed directions and then they asked me if I wanted a ride. So they asked me if I needed help with directions and I was like, yeah, I'm trying to find this place, blah blah blah. And then so they ended up asking me if I wanted to ride because they're going to the same place, so I said yes. And yeah, so I ended up going on this like amazing hike up into the past where Pozo Lejos is, way up in the mountains. I'll show you pictures, and it was super incredible and I would have never found it if it wasn't for them. So, and they were really incredible, and yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to see if I can go stay on their farm. And they actually have a community that they've been working on for like 10 years doing permaculture, which is exactly what I want to do. So they know somewhere that has some land for sale. They also were just super cool. It was such an amazing day. And yeah, that's kind of like what happens when you're just like, yeah, and traveling solo and being open to new adventures, I guess. So I'm gonna contact them later tonight, go see their farm tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can volunteer with them as well. That would be incredible, especially to learn more about like permaculture and what I want to do in the future. And yeah, so I also learned that yes, this town, Charalá, was part of the liberation from Spain. However, they say a lot has been erased from history books because some say this was actually where the fighting took place and where the actual liberation came from. And that's why the statue is here, as well as people in town will talk to you about how Charalá was so significant in the independence from Spain. A bunch of farmers, a bunch of women stood up. They said, we don't want that. Basically, that's a really short story, but that's what happened. And yeah, so it was like a critical turning point in the history of Colombia, in this little town that hardly any tourists go to. And yeah, so it's really interesting because when I was in Socorro, I said I thought it happened there, but that's where a bunch of marches happened and a bunch of farmers were marching for liberation. But here is where many believe the actual battle took place, in Charalá. So yeah, super interesting, super historically interesting. As well as beautiful. This area is like so pretty with the waterfalls and the rivers and the hills and the animals. Of course, I love the cows. So yeah, I'm so glad I came here. And of course, everyone is asking me, why did you choose to come here? I don't know, I saw waterfalls. That's like the story of my travels. I saw waterfalls and I went. That's how I ended up in San Carlos. I saw a waterfall and I went. So yeah, anyways, this video is probably way too long, so if you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. And thank you for like sticking with my like lack of knowledge to actually knowing something. And I'm not going to cut out things where I don't know and then I come around to finding out that I learned something, because I think in life, like so many of us think that everyone just knows everything and we're afraid to say, I have no idea, I know nothing about this town, but I'm willing to ask and I'm willing to learn. So I think that's like a huge part of traveling. Like when you travel, like I knew nothing about the city, I started seeing statues, I started asking questions, I learned, gave you a very, very brief overview of it. But obviously this is not a history channel, this is a vlogging channel. I don't know everything and you might not agree with me. But with that said, yeah, that's life, right? Not gonna agree with everybody. And sometimes facts might be wrong. The information you got someone from might not agree with who you got your information from. And that's what keeps the world going round. I think people who disagree with each other, I think that's a good thing. I think the good thing is that you can learn to talk to people about your disagreements and come to common ground. And yeah, that's what's happening right now in the world, is a lot of people are just disagreeing and not talking, getting angry, and a lot of bad crap is happening. So if you don't know something, ask. If you disagree, have a conversation. I think it's about communicating and connecting with people and things, and because we are all one with nature, and we often forget that until you go into nature and you realize that you're in no control, and Mama Gaia is the ultimate control. If she wants an earthquake, she will have an earthquake. And if she wants a volcano to erupt, a volcano will erupt. So, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hopefully will see you next time. Ciao!